At the age of 14, and when I had my son, they went in to me. At the same time, they gave me a cesarean birth and took my child, and when they did that, they sterilized me.
Did they tell you what they were doing to you?
No.
They didn't have to tell him. He knew. A sterilization by force.
Main reason is because I was poor and I am black. I believe that with all of my heart.
Based on the pseudoscience of eugenics, more than 30 states passed laws allowing for the forced sterilization of so-called defectives.
The 1930s through the 1950s were the heyday of the eugenics movement in the United States. The goal? To rid the country of the feeble-minded, defectives. And it wasn't some fringe or secretive program. It was well known and paid for by the states where it was practiced.
Researchers believe that as many as 100,000 Americans were victimized.
The efficiency of California's program didn't go unnoticed. In the 1930s, the Nazi Party in Germany was so impressed it asked for advice, and Californians leading the program were only too happy to help.
So eugenicists in California sent this book to the Nazis.
Yes, they did.
So the Nazis used this book as a model for their sterilization program.
Absolutely. Germany used California's program as its chief example that this was a working, successful policy.
California, the leader in forced sterilization,
By the time North Carolina ended its own eugenics program in 1974, it had taken away the reproductive rights of 7,600 people.
The state of North Carolina is a partner with you in trying to bring awareness.
Governor Bev Perdue has invited sterilization victims to the Capitol, heard their stories, apologized personally, set up a task force to help them, and recommended that each victim receive $50,000 in reparations. In California, just a statement of apology by Governor Gray Davis in 2003, saying in part, "It was a sad and regrettable chapter in the state's history, and it is one that must never be repeated again."
our top students are just not world-class anymore.
For instance, when it comes to high school graduation rates, the U.S. is 20th on the list. Germany, Japan, South Korea, the UK all do better with graduation rates of 90% or more. Here, it's 75%.
According to LA's Fertility Institute, prospective parents can select eye color, hair color, and more. The technology is called pre-implantation genetic diagnosis, or PGD. It was created to screen for disease, then used for gender selection. Now this clinic plans to allow parents to select physical traits. A recent U.S. survey suggests most people support the notion of building a better baby when it comes to eliminating serious diseases.
Of course, once I've got this science, am I not to provide this to my patient?
If it is available, why not offer it to his patients? He says he has the obligation as a doctor to do so. Do you agree with that?
I disagree completely. When you move away from diseases, who's to say what's the better trait? Is it better to be redheaded than it is to be brown-haired? Is it better to have freckles or not? Those sorts of things I think are very subjective. You're going to have the rich using these technologies, and that's going to advantage them further. It's not going to be something the poor get to do.
Do you think there should be laws prohibiting this?
Absolutely. And I think this is going to turn out to be one of the biggest issues in the next 10, 15 years, the extent to which we design our babies and who's going to be able to call the shot.
That human personalities, IQs, and futures are shaped by either environment or genetics, also known as nature and nurture. It's the debate of who we are, and many people are talking about it. Nature-nurture debate.
In the arguments over nature versus nurture.
Nature, we are referring to our genes and how they have affected our health, appearance, and behavior.